Katie and Elise. And Elise wanted no part of me at all. But Katie was she was a lovely person.
What was her last name?
Partleton.
Partleton?
Partleton.
Was your given last name was Partleton?
Partleton, yeah.
What do you know about your parents?
The only thing I know is my mother. I mean, there was absolutely no love shown. None whatever. When I was about 4, I think, was when that black woman took me.
Well, when you were born,
yeah.
What did you know? You know, was your dad living, or was what do you know from that standpoint?
My dad might have been 10,000 miles away right then. Nothing. I have no idea who he was. Huh? Mother was a prostitute. That's the only way she could live.
How do you know she was?
I know, Ricky. Because that's the only way they could make a living.
Do you know what type of stock, what your ancestral heritage was from the standpoint of the Irish or Scotch or English or Canadian?
Well, I don't know, really. He more than likely was off a ship. Because that's the way they picked it up, see, the sailing ships coming in. But I have no idea who he was.
What extraction was your mother?
I think she was English.
Yeah. Partleton is an English name, or is that Dutch?
Partleton? I don't know. I think that's English.
That was her family name, though.
Her mother was Kendall. Her mother's name was Kendall. That was my grandmother.
Kendall?
Yeah. I only saw her one time, and that was in the almshouse.
Where?
The almshouse, where poor people went. Beautiful little place.
You mean the word alms, A-L-M-S?
Yeah. That's what they call it, the almshouse.
Yeah.
I went up there once in a horse and carriage with my mother. I must have been about 5 or 6 then. That was the only time that I had any communication with mother, because always that trying to get enough to eat. Of course, this black woman took me, and
how old was your mother when you were born?
I have to make a guess at that. I would say about 40, maybe.
And she had a large
42.
family to support?
No. When I got to know the family, the 2 sisters, one was still with the mother, and the other sister was by herself.
I thought you had 11 or 12 brothers and sisters.
They say there was that many that had died, see. That was just...
she had conceived that many children?
So they say. I don't know how the hell I got to say that. It's could be that they did, because they had no contraceptive methods at all.
Were you born in Bridgetown?
Bridgetown, yeah.
Are you sure your birth date is correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know?
Well, I know because I went to school, from the time I was school age, and well, we even got it here. Well, Jane sent for a birth certificate.
She sent to Bridgetown?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Well, she did that about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, and they had the record of your
Oh,
birth?
yeah, sure.
Were you born in a house?
That I don't know.
Do you have any idea where you were born?
No.
And so when you were about 5, a black woman took you?
Yeah, about 4, I think, yeah.
Well, why did your mom give you up?
I was running loose. She didn't want me because of another mouth to feed. That's the reason why.
Do you remember the first house you lived in with your mom?
No. No, I remember. I know about where it was. Down Homicide, they call it. But I don't recall the house. But my mother was. She lived right in that same area. See? And this black woman, she had this little grocery store, the two-bit grocery store. And she was glad to get rid of me, too.
Why did the black woman take you?
Take me off the street. See, all the rest down that neighborhood was black. And I was treated like nothing. I always had my hand out for begging for food. See, this before I went to the old lady, the black woman. And I don't know how I know this, but one of them put a piece of shit in my hand, and I started to eat it. I remember that part.
How old were you?
I must have been about 5. 4 or 5.
You were just a poor beggar kid.
Yeah. Absolutely, right down the line.
So the black lady took you. Was it the black lady that gave you the piece of dung?
No. One of the others down in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Because you were kind of an outcast because you were white and they were black?
Yeah. Even going to school, see, I was a white kid from a prostitute mother. And I wasn't very well received on account of that. Some of those blacks, they had their principles. And
you know, when you think about those early years, Pop, your mom conceived you and you were born into poverty. You were born into poverty. And so the earliest you can recall is that you were just kind of running loose around the neighborhood there begging for food. And
the first thing I remember, that I really can remember, is there was a big ditch, and this was a sewer. It was about that deep, I guess, not like that. And it was about that wide. And this probably was when the deal was made between the old lady and my mother. Because there was another woman with her. And I was supposed to wait till they came back to get across the canal, see? But I jumped. And I think I still got the mark up there some damn place.
mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Oh, not really.
No, anyway, I was had a pretty good cut.
You landed in the sewer?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a sewer.